Good afternoon, Brimfield Township and Facebook followers. Nick Coia, candidate for Brimfield Township Trustee. Today, I want to talk about not the goals that I have for our township, but how we meet those goals. As we get closer to the November 7th election, we get excited about what we can do and make better in our township. And sometimes we offer more than we can really deliver on. The reality is there's only so many dollars in a township in order to operate it and to make the township better. While I'd love to see all of our parks built into brand new beautiful areas with tons of new equipment for our kids to play at, and while I'd love to see the township town center grow and thrive in the next few years with brand new lighting, while we build a new fire station and repair all of our roads, the reality is there's only so many dollars available on an annual basis. But I can promise this. I can promise that I will do the best I can with your tax dollars to make our township the best it can be. Now, I want you to have an understanding of how we can use those dollars to our benefit. Right now, we have this bucket called revenue. This revenue bucket is monies that we collect through taxes and levies and the local government fund that we recently discussed. This bucket gets filled up on an annual basis. And then twice a year when this bucket's filled up, we have to go fill other buckets in our township in order to maintain the services we provide. And the first bucket we must fill is our mandatory bucket. This bucket here allows us to continue operating in the fashion we have. We have things like filling our salaries. Here are the contracts that we've made with our police and fire services. We cannot change those until we have negotiations. And those only happen every so many years. So this is a mandatory cost we have. We have things like insurance. We have to provide health insurance for our employees. Now, some say that we may be able to make this bucket smaller. But the reality is that our health insurance program is a grandfathered program that has allowed our township to save money while providing good health care for our employees. We have things like insurance on our buildings and cars that we must pay on an annual basis. We have fuel charges in order to keep our services provided to our citizens, getting police and fire to us in a timely manner. We have things like workers' comp that we have to pay out. And then we also have contracts that we are obligated to pay out on, such as our police and fire 911 service. We contract some of that dispatching through Kent State University. So these are things that we have to pay. When this money is left over, it comes into what I call the fluid bucket. This bucket is fluid because we can move it into different areas in order to improve our townships. Now, it's important to note that there's only so much we can do. So if I take two of our buckets and push this to repair our roads, that means there's much less dollars to fix our fire station or to put in town center district or to improve lighting or improve our parks. So here's what I propose we do as trustee, is that on an annual basis, we really look at this budget with our fiscal officer. And I've spent many hours talking with John Dazell and looking at the finances and how we can make this work for us. The reality is we finally have a carryover balance. And that carryover balance allows us to pay bills after the first of the year, because this revenue bucket doesn't arrive on January 1. It arrives in February. So we need to ensure that we don't spend every dollar by the end of the year, because then we can't make payroll. So that carryover balance has finally been built in our system. So now we can start strategically thinking. And here's what I say. In the first year in office, I want to build a strategic management plan that is a 5-year outlook. That 5-year outlook will be for police, fire, parks and recreation, and the road department. And we will outline what our goals are for the next 5 years. What would we like to see happen? What does the police chief really believe we need in his professional opinion? What does the fire chief believe we need? What roads and what processes can we improve upon based upon the knowledge of our road superintendent? Those people that are in those positions are there because they are key players, and we expect them to have the knowledge and expertise to provide those skills. So we meet with them and we set a 5-year plan, knowing that it's fluid. things may change. We may not be able to fix every road that we plan on fixing initially. Because if we have an emergency, like a road collapse, more of these fluid buckets go away and we cannot improve more roadways. Maybe we have a large-scale fire that taxes our fire service. When that happens, we may need to take some of these buckets and help that fire department replace damaged equipment. That's happened in the past. So while it's great to say I can promise you that I'll change the world, that's not the reality. The reality is I can promise I will do the best I can with what we have. And that's a promise I can keep. We hope to see you at the polls on November 7th. If you have any questions, please comment below. As usual, like our video, share our video, and we hope to see you when we're out knocking doors over the next several weeks. Have a great day.